This PowerPoint may be used as a guide for knowing what deaths to report to the Cass County Coroner's Office. As soon as a death occurs in your unit, you are tasked with determining whether the coroner's office needs to be notified. To make that determination, please review the state's reporting criteria. If the circumstances surrounding the patient's death do not fall into one of these categories, you do not need to call the coroner. If the circumstances surrounding the patient's death do fall into one of these categories, or if you're just not sure, call the on-call coroner. When you call the coroner, we will have many questions for you. To simplify reporting, here is some information that you should have ready before you call. The name of the decedent, the date of birth, home address, and next of kin name and phone number. If an accident, fall, or injury occurred, try to find out when and where it happened. Injuries can sometimes take place months, years, and even decades prior to the death and still be related to the death. We will also ask about the patient's medical history and if there was imaging and drug or alcohol testing involved. The information we gather will be used to fill out the death certificate on the decedent, so it is important to have accurate information. After we gather the information we need, we will let you know if we will take this as a coroner's case.
So what does a coroner's case mean? If we tell you a death is a coroner's case, it means that we will be doing further investigation into the death, and the hospital physician will not have to sign the death certificate. Our investigations can look slightly different based on circumstances surrounding the death. In some cases, we may order an autopsy on the decedent, which means we would come to the hospital, pick the decedent up, and bring them to the Cass County morgue. If an autopsy is not necessary, we will request medical records and approve for the body to be released from the hospital to a funeral home of the family's choosing. Once we have all of the information we need, we will direct you on what to do next. If an autopsy is not required or if the death is not a coroner's case, the funeral home may be called right away. If we order an autopsy or we need the body to be held in the hospital morgue, we will relay this information to you. If a body is placed on the hold, do not call the funeral home. To prevent the body from being released from the hospital morgue when it's not supposed to be, we will call security and place a coroner hold on the body. Fairly often we are notified that hospital physicians sign out death certificates as natural deaths when they should have been accidental. These are cases that were not reported to the coroner's office. Physicians can only sign death certificates for natural deaths, so if a death appears to be due to non-natural circumstances, it will need to be reported. If you ever have any questions on if something is reportable or not, just report it in case. One of the reporting criteria for coroner's cases is death in an unexplained or undetermined manner. However, the term unexplained is oftentimes confused with the term unexpected. If a death is unexplained, it means there is nothing significant in a patient's medical history that could cause the death. If the patient had hypertension, smoked cigarettes, and was obese, but they died suddenly at the hospital, the death would be unexpected but not unexplained because of the medical history.